In this video, we want to talk about a very interesting gemstone. Something that is not that rare, but it resembles something extremely rare. A stone that resembles a precious gemstone. The name of this stone is Aquamarine, which is a Latin word that means water from the sea. And since it kind of resembles the blue seawater, that's why they gave it this name. But in different languages, this stone is called something emerald. But why is that? Because it comes from the same family as emeralds, which is a precious gemstone, one of the 4 precious gemstones which we've made a video on before. This also falls under the beryl family, which has a lot of beryllium in it, and emerald is also part of this family as well. Even though aquamarine is the same family as the emerald, the stone is not as rare, and that's why aquamarine doesn't fall under the precious gemstone. It's just a gemstone. This is the chemical formula of this stone, which is made up of beryllium, aluminum, silicon, and oxygen. And it's also good to see the texture of it under a microscope. This is basically how the atoms are stuck together, making up the molecules that makes this cool design and color. It is this structure that gives this certain look. Of course, the quality of the gemstone is what matters to make this stone beautiful or not. And it is important to know that it's not a rare gemstone, but the highest quality and the highest grade ones are extremely rare. And not only is it rare, but its price could be comparable to emerald itself. To find this aquamarine, where should we go? Technically, you can find aquamarine anywhere, and it's mostly common in granite quarries. So anywhere you can mine granite, you could also find aquamarine. In simple terms, it takes tens of millions of years for aquamarine to form, and they usually form in between granite. And the granite itself takes an extremely long time to form as well. The oldest granites that have been found on Earth are about 300 million years old, and that's why they're extremely durable and resistant. Just 300 million years of pressure being added onto them, and they keep getting stronger and stronger. But for stones on planet Earth, 300 million years isn't the longest. You have limestones and different sandstones that reach more than billion years, and some even 2.5 billion years old. But let's get back to aquamarine. Just like its family member emerald, it is extremely hard, so that means it could break very easily. But we all know that the hardest stone in the universe are diamonds. But anything that's harder and harder, it is more brittle and it could break easily. But let's go into a granite quarry and see how an aquamarine is found and mined. Just like most gemstones, you have to first find the aquamarine and slowly dig around it carefully so you don't break the aquamarine itself. Something that takes a lot of time and patience, because you can't rush work like this. If you're not patient, you could take a huge piece of aquamarine and shatter it, and that's gonna hurt its value by a lot. Of course, there's always a chance that it's so brittle because it's millions of years old that on its way out you're gonna break it. But there's always a chance you will get a huge piece of it, so patience is key. Where is the most amount of aquamarine mined? The country of Brazil. There are a lot of quarries in this country, and you can find a lot of aquamarines as well. In Brazil, there's so many mountainous areas that have granite in them that you'll see normal people trying to mine aquamarine as a job. Kinda like mining opal in Australia, where it's not an actual business, but just a person mining. What you're seeing on the screen is the most famous aquamarine in the world, an aquamarine that was found in Brazil. When they found this aquamarine, they named one of the Brazilian emperors after it, Dom Pedro. But this stone wasn't found during Dom Pedro's reign. It was actually found about 40 years ago in the year 1980, and it wasn't actually done by the Brazilian companies. It was done by a few Germans, and what they found wasn't like this. It was actually like this before they cut it. When it was found, it was 10,363 carats, and it weighed 27 kilograms. At first, they were afraid of cutting into it and maybe breaking it, but eventually they decided to cut and polish it. But this wasn't a job given to anybody. It had to be perfect because you can't really put a price on a piece like this. And if it ends up breaking, it could be disastrous. And as you can see, it came out amazing, something extremely unique, and you can't find another one. Upon examination, you could see these empty spots in between the stone, and that's exactly what it is. When it was forming, there were these beautiful empty spots, and millions of years later, we could see it perfectly. This piece, when it was finished, was given to the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C., and it's in a museum where people can go and see it. And just like we said, you really can't put a price on a piece like this since it's not comparable, so it's priceless. The crown you're seeing on the screen is made with aquamarine, silver, and diamonds. But who does it belong to? It is for Queen Elizabeth. In the year 1953, Getulio Vargas, the president of Brazil at that time, invited Queen Elizabeth to his palace, and when she got there, this was the gift given to her. And now it is one of the most famous jewels that has aquamarine on it. Alright, let's talk about pricing. Just like most gemstones, aquamarine's price is based on 4 important things: size, color, cut, and most importantly, clarity. The more perfect it is, the higher the price will be. It is because of these 4 things that you really can't say how much this stone cost, because a lot of things matters before they put a price on it. You can find aquamarine that's $1 a carat, or an aquamarine that's thousands of dollars per carat. And sometimes it is so insane that you can't even put a price on it, just like Dom Pedro. More interesting facts about aquamarine is that when you put it underwater, there is a chance that it could go invisible, but this matters on the color of the stone. And that's why ancient Rome believed that all sailors should have aquamarine on them, because it brings them good luck.